Hey everybody, welcome back to Morning Coach, the YouTube channel here. Excited you're with me today as we're talking a couple note-taking devices that can be really awesome or really frustrating depending on your use case. And we're talking about the iPad, okay, which is right here, versus the reMarkable Paper Pro or the reMarkable 2 or e-ink device. And where do they fit within your tech stack? Okay, so I've always said it's about use case. And back when I started this channel, the iPad versus reMarkable one was a big topic. And the thing was writing on glass, right? So this marker is great, but you're writing on glass and it just doesn't feel good. Like some people can get away with it, but to me, I just don't like the feel of it. It just never has worked for me. If I come here and I try to write on it, let's go ahead and put pencil, red. The colors are great, but it just feels weird. Now, we've always said, hey, go ahead and you can put a screen protector on here and it'll change the whole experience. The reason I don't do that is because I use e-ink, okay? So e-ink is my alternative to using the iPad for note-taking. Will I use notes on it? Sometimes I'll use Note Shelf is what we recommend for our planning systems, which you can get free at morningcoach.com. And the 2025 ones are going to be awesome. But for me, I just don't like the feel. I would rather get the reMarkable Paper Pro, which people are saying feels more like a ballpoint pen than a pencil than the reMarkable 2, just so you know. The colors aren't as fresh. If you look, you'll see the colors are definitely muted. There's a refresh that some people complain about when you start using colors. And so if you're somebody that really wants colors in your note taking and really want that multimedia experience, the reMarkable Paper Pro isn't even going to compare to it. It's not even going to come close. But where it really works is as a secondary device. And I know people I don't want to carry two devices. I get it. But the reMarkable specifically, not the books devices, some of those can do other things, but the reMarkable and the company has said that they are making a paper replacement product. That's it. And I appreciate it. That's what I use it for. It is my paper replacement. That's what I'm using it for here. It replaces the paper that I use on a daily basis. Now, I use the reMarkable Paper Pro or the reMarkable 2 for my planner and note taking, okay? My iPad, why don't I put a screen protector on it, is because I use it for multimedia. I love to watch videos on it. I use it for my writing. When I'm writing books, I use Ulysses. I do some writing on reMarkable, but in full disclosure, I use the iPad. I use the iPad a little bit for video editing. I got the M4. It's a little overkill. I could have probably went with just a standard iPad, but I decided to go with the M4. And that's really what I'm using it for. I'm using it for those things. That's the key thing. I got a call coming in there. We'll decline that. And so that's the key thing. That's what I'm using it for. I'm using it for my multimedia experience. So a lot of people ask me, JB, should I buy the reMarkable Paper Pro or the iPad? And here's where I'm at with this. If you can afford both, you get both. Okay, that's the secret. You have an iPad or a Samsung device, which I have here, that you're utilizing for different things, right? And you've got your tablet for your multimedia experience, almost a computer replacement. Then you've got your reMarkable Paper Pro that you're using for your note-taking and planning environment. And I think that's where you're gonna find the most success. Where people get into trouble is they're like, okay, I'm not gonna get a tablet, I'm gonna get the reMarkable Paper Pro, and that's gonna be my tablet replacement. It is not a tablet replacement. It is not an iPad. If you wanna go that direction, and I caution you, you could probably pull it off with a books, maybe a Supernote, but again, when you go there, you may be disappointed because the iPad and the Samsung tablets have come so far. And these e-ink tablets really aren't built for that. The books can do more, but it's very complex. You gotta really be somebody who's very patient and willing to work it. I got them all upstairs, but you gotta be patient with their OS. It's an Android system. If you're not used to that, you may get a little frustrated. It may not work for you. But my planning system, what I'm using is the iPad, and then my planner I have on the reMarkable Paper Pro, and then I'm using a Plod device. Now I have the Note Pen coming, and this is a real interesting device in that I record calls, and I obviously ask the person if they know that they're being recorded, and I also record items and things that I need. Now basically what I'll do is I'll record this and then I'll have the AI make the notes for me so I can see the checklist and things that I need to do. And so that's my trio. So what I'm utilizing is note-taking with the reMarkable Paper Pro, but my overall Para note system, if you've used Para, is in the iPad. So in the iPad, I have my notes along with my computer. Now, full disclosure, I use my computer a lot. I use the Applaud interface, I use the reMarkable interface, and I use the iPad Notes interface. Those are my note-taking devices. Again, I have the pen that's coming today. I'll be doing a video on that with the Applaud. Now, a lot of people say, well, can't you just do voice memos? Yeah, you can. I've got Cast Magic and a lot of tools that I could use, but the Applaud just works real well, connects to my phone, I can record calls, and then I can just bring that stuff up, which just works real well. So if you're watching this to go, okay, what would you suggest? Then I would suggest, if you have the funds, to have an iPad or a tablet as your tablet. These can work alone, okay? They can work alone. The reMarkable Paper Pro is not going to be able to work alone. Most e-ink devices are not going to be able to work alone. They are note-taking devices, okay? So that's where it gets really hairy, and some people get into trouble because they're like, okay, I'm going to do that. So if you have one device, it'd be a Samsung or an iPad. If you can have two devices, it's an iPad, Samsung, and a reMarkable, which I suggest reMarkable Paper Pro. I'm loving it. reMarkable 2 is also a great device. There are some other devices. Supernote's a little delayed on theirs. There's some books devices that are out there. I personally like and prefer the reMarkable for what it's doing for me. I'm not using it for everything else. I'm using it strictly for note-taking. Okay, so that's the perfect world. And then having some type of voice recorder, which could be your phone, or using a Applaud type device. There's a lot of different ones. Like I said, the note pen's coming as your note taker. Then we aggregate it in, and we have one central second brain system, which I use Para, which then is the notes on the Apple computer. That makes me highly efficient, highly effective. So I have my planning system on my reMarkable Paper Pro right here. I have my planner. You can get this at morningcoach.com, and the 2025 one is awesome, which then leads to my multimedia experience and my notes, overall notes, structure, organization with the Notes app in here. Some people use Evernote, some people use Notion, right? And then going to the Applaud for day-to-day recording and day-to-day capturing of information when I need it, okay? So I hope that helps. If there's any thing in here you'd like to see more of, let me know. I'll do a little video on notes. I'll do a little video on planning on reMarkable, and then I'll do some stuff on Applaud. I'll be doing an unboxing later, probably today when I get the note pen in, and we'll be talking about this device. Again, on this Applaud device, I know I'm gonna get a ton of comments. Can't you just do voicemail into ChatGPT and whisper? Yes, you can. This just simplifies the process. All these things, some of them have subscription. I know people get upset about this subscription. They're reMarkable. If you don't like subscription, go Supernote, which they're coming out with a new device, or go with the books. And then the Applaud has a very basic plan, but then you got to pay for your minutes if you're using this extensively. I don't have to. I don't use it a ton, but I use it enough, if that makes sense. And it really streamlines my organization of my notes so I can get so much done as I prepare for my marathons, coach my professionals, and work with the people that I'm working with. Okay, so as always, hey, thanks for watching. Usability, that's what we talk about here. If you're in the market, iPad only or Samsung only. If you can afford it, jump on an e-ink device as a secondary device. It's not a primary device. Very important to understand. And then you can start looking at some third-party tools to help you with your note-taking. But iPad versus reMarkable Paper Pro, they are different devices, and they are different. Like, that's what's so important to understand. It is not an iPad, and that will help you. And you won't get that disappointment when you get it and you're like, oh, it doesn't do what my tablet does. It's not meant to do that. All right, thanks for watching. We will see you in the next video.